I became a software developer with the help of AI. Not because I needed software, but because I wanted to create a way for people without a finance degree or background in the stock market to actually start investing in a way that it doesn't have to take over your whole life. And what I created was the 7 Minute Investor software. And it's so cool because most people who try to become investors, they fail, in my mind, not because they don't learn the basics, but because they don't have a system that actually fits into real life, right? They either overcomplicate it or they go so deep, so fast that it takes over life, and then real life happens and they have to go back to work, and it's like, this doesn't work. So, 7 Minute Investor, the whole point is you can become an investor in 7 minutes or less a day, and that's the idea that this whole thing is built around. So, let me talk through a little bit about what's inside and why this actually is going to matter. So, part number one is a daily 7 minute checklist, basically an investor streak. Basically, it's like, okay, how much time is it going to actually take? Is it going to swallow your whole life? The thing is, like, becoming an investor, people think it requires watching charts all day or making that your whole identity. And while that can be fun, that's actually not true. Basically, what you do, and the reason I built this, is you log in. It's a daily check-in first. It's like, hey, you showed up. Then you start your 7 minutes. It's 7 items, and you spend 1 minute per item. Okay. First, it's like, did you look at your stocks today? Second, do you know your account balance? Third, did you check your investment plan to see whether you need to invest more today or whether you're good? Right. Fourth, log any transactions. Like, go into the system, say, hey, I bought XYZ stock at $10 per share. Then next, do you still like your stocks for the long term? And that's about like positioning your mind as an investor, not a trader. Like, you're in to invest to create long term, wealth and financial security. Like, that's what you're after. And so, do you like it for the long term still? Then, have you reviewed your goals? Are you on track? But basically, the idea is like you go in, you check all seven, you get your investor streak, and your 7 minutes is done. And then it's like, okay, cool, you're done. Go build your life. Like, your money's working for you. Go, live. And that's really cool. But it's funny, like, I remember I started investing in high school and in college, and people think about it. It's like, as a default, they're like, okay, you're in the stock market, you have to watch charts all day, you have to stare at screens, you have to make it your life. The thing is, you don't have to. Okay, and the truth is, like, doing that might not be the best way to create a life, anyways, because there's something to the idea of like going to work, spending a day with your family, going on vacation, and your money can still work for you even while you do all that. So becoming the type of investor that you want to be doesn't actually have to take over your whole life. Um, yeah, it's actually really interesting. There's this idea in Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil that he frames as hypnotic rhythm. But basically, it's like, keep it small, but like simple daily rhythms are more powerful than doing one thing in a big way, right? So it's like 7 minutes works because it builds the rhythm in your life that makes you the type of person who is an investor. Okay. So 7 minutes a day, the right checklist. It's a streak that holds you accountable. You can still have your job, you still have your life. The system does a lot of the work to help you keep on the path and make sure that you are going. So the next thing is a snapshot of like how much do you have invested and how much total income have you made. So people, they look at the stock market and they put a little bit in, and it's like, I don't actually know what my numbers look like. I can't tell if I'm making progress, and it feels dirty. Like, it's like, this is kind of working maybe, but I don't really know. Um, and so the cool thing is, like, this tool I built so that instead of spending hours learning Excel or figuring out finance jargon, you just walk through it, and right after you do your 7 minute check-in, it shows you total money invested, how much have you invested ever in all the stocks, and like how much income have you made, right? How much passive income and semi-passive income have you made out of that investment? It's like, how much money is your money making, right? It's really cool. And so the next thing that it shows you is your stocks, the actual stocks that you're in, and like some information about each one. So it has a card where it's like, it shows you the number of shares, then your average buy price, then the total amount that you invested. Then it shows you passive income that you've made, so the money that you've made without having to work for it from dividends. Then it shows you the semi-passive income that you made from covered calls. Then for each one, it shows you like, do you have options unlock status, which is something that you unlock when you get to 100 shares of a single stock in the stock market. So there's some really, really cool and really powerful stuff in there. And it's interesting because my dad has said this before a bunch of times, and I don't know where this quote originally from or is from, but the quote is, if you want to have success in anything, you have to be able to measure it. And that's what this is about. You see your stocks, you see what your average buy price is, you see how much you've invested, you see how much passive income and semi-passive income you're making, because it's really hard to know if you're having success in the stock market or if your investments, if you're just guessing, right? And this section was built to take the guesswork out of it and be like, here's what you're doing, here's where your path is, like, then you know if you're having success or not. Pretty cool, right? Um, Yeah, it's so nice. It's a snapshot and it's fast and you immediately know what's happening. And every time that you go in and you're like, hey, I made a new dividend or I got paid passive income or I, made a promise and got paid semi-passive income, it gets bigger and bigger and you see more of your results growing over time and it's compounding that becomes visible in a way that I never had when I was starting. Like to track my investments before I built this, I'm literally like using Excel sheets and it's kind of complicated and kind of annoying. There's formulas and all the stuff. And while that's learnable, like this is way better. And that's what I wanted to build for you guys so you don't have to go down that path. Um, and that like even when it's small and you feel like you don't have that much in there, you can still see it starting to grow. So that's really cool. The next thing that you have in there is milestones and awards. And the cool thing is like, you think about when you first get started, like for you guys that are watching this right now, hopefully some of you guys have already got an idea of like what you're aiming at. But the thing is the milestones, it's like these are key moments that are critical and foundational to being an investor. So it's things like, did you get your first stock? Have you reached 100 shares so you unlock options? Like things like that where it's built-in milestones. They light up green as you hit them where it's like, it just it gives you something to aim for so that you know where you're going and then in the system it's like hey congratulations you actually did this like look at you you're actually becoming an investor and it's a cool way to be like this is what I'm aiming for and then when you get there you actually see it right so it's really cool and it's interesting but the reason I built this a lot of it is there's a scripture that says without a vision the people perish and the milestones and awards they're there to give you the vision and a path and something to aim for right like it's one of them is 100 shares. It's the options unlock. And most people are not going to start by buying 100 shares of stock, right? Most regular people won't be able to, and that might not be the best place to start. But having it as a target means that your dream, your vision of becoming an investor doesn't perish, right? You have a vision, and so it doesn't die. And the system gives you tools and things to help you actually make the dream real. And that's the whole point. Right, so it's pre-built key moments that build you as an investor that are foundational to becoming an investor who can create something real and gives you something to aim for. So that's really cool. And that's just ones that I've pre-built in there that are like, these are important to people who are getting started, like maybe aim at these. And then the next thing, and you guys, I think you're really gonna like this, but it's your goals with your vision and your numbers. So you think about like when you, who's watching this video, is gonna start, you're gonna have different goals in your investments than I'm gonna have, right? Um, and so it's like, it's not like there's only one right way to invest or one set of goals to go towards, right? So the whole idea here is in the first stock challenge, right? You go through day 3 and it's like you build out a path, right? You build out your investment plan, you outline your goals, and it's like, this is what I want to aim for. Okay. And your goals and visions is where you can go and you can take those, you can put them in there, and then it'll show you inside the software every day when you look how close you're getting towards those goals. So for example, if you want to make like, one goal that I thought was a fun one is like, let's say you want to make $10 a month in passive income so you never have to pay for Spotify ever again. Right? Whatever your goal is, it might not be that or it might be, but like you put it in and then every time when you get paid a dividend, you log that and it's like, oh, how close are you to that goal? And then when you hit it, it shows you that you've actually reached your goal, which is really cool. And that's based on you, which is sweet. And it's interesting because I think about like my littlest sister went through my stock market basics course and started investing before she ever got to high school. Her goals, right, as a pre-high school girl were a lot different than my goals at that point were. Or like I had my friend from the bank who finally invested in a quantum computer company. And it was funny because like that stock had a totally different profile. It didn't fit my goals, right? That's not a stock I would have invested in, but it fit his goals. Or I think about my little brother who recently started selling covered calls. It was cool because me and him talked about it for a couple days at Chick-fil-A lunches in the middle of the workday. And like then he started doing it. He started playing with it. He started finding his own goals. And now he's been going about 2 months and literally not 5 minutes ago before I made this video, he was in here talking through it and he's like, you're literally teaching my favorite investment strategy because it's simple, it works, and like they can actually build it by their own goals. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point, right? The point is I don't want to give you my goals because everybody on here is going to have a different spot and you're going to have different goals. You're going to have your own aims and your own life. And the whole point here is like in the system, you can build it in so you can like see your progress towards your goals, your life, your financial vision, which is so cool. And then I didn't even put it on my little board here, but there's one piece too where it like shows everything that you've done and it, where it's like, hey, I bought this number of shares of this company and then I made a dividend and then I sold the covered call and then I did this and then I sold some shares and it's really cool. So like this is such a cool system. I'm so excited for you guys to see this and get into it. but it's really cool. So if you haven't signed up yet, right? Like if you guys are kind of the people who are watching this video outside of the system, the way to get access to the 7 Minute Investor software is through the first stock challenge, and you walk away with your first investment account set up, your first stock, a plan, and then the 7 Minute Investor software where you put it all in and you build the habits. All right, so if that's you, the link's gonna be in the description of the video. Go check it out, get into the first stock challenge, and figure out how it works. For those of you guys that are already in, right, if you already have gone through the first stock challenge or you're preparing to go through the first stock challenge and you're looking at the 7 Minute Investor software and you're like, okay, this is cool, how does it work? Like, this is what you're gonna do, right? So I wanted to walk through it with you so you could see the value, because if you can see the value, then you'll use it. And if you use it, what's cool is like I built this system to actually help you to become the person that you wanna be in a simple way that I wish that I would have had when I was first starting, over a decade ago. But like literally I built this tool and I've been looking at it the last few days. It's in beta testing right now as I'm making this video. And I showed it to my brother when he was in here a few minutes ago, and I was like, you don't understand how cool this. Like, as soon as this is done, my brother's gonna be on it. I'm gonna be on it. In fact, I've already been on it. The first time that I logged in, I made an extra $25, which is not that much, but like I made an extra $25 literally going through the steps, which was so cool. And that's the point, right? It's like 7 minutes a day to help you stay on the right path, to do the right things, and to go. So if you guys are already in, go check it out, get into the software, go through the rest of the training that I'm going to build for it, and go, right? Like, use it. And that's the point. Because this can help you become the investor that you want to be, but only if you're in. So that's the idea. If you're not in yet, sign up for the link. Go through the first stock challenge, because that's first, right? You have to have a first stock for the 7 Minute Investor to be useful. So you got to do the first stock challenge first, and then go in, do the first stock challenge, then do the 7 Minute Investor. And you guys, this is going to be so cool. You're going to be able to see your stock accounts grow and your value grow, and you're going to become more and more the investor. And the more you do it, the more you walk through the path. Like, it's going to build you into the type of person that you want to be or that you need to be an investor. So you can have the investment results and like the goals and the vision that you have, like that is built in simple daily habits. And this software and this system is designed to help you do that. So get into it, and I will see you guys on the other side. This is so cool. So get into it and let me know what you think of it, because this is such a cool system. So get in, play with it, and I will see you on the other side.